You're up.
Go.
Okay.
You're good. Go.
Dear colleagues and gentle hearts, bid you farewell as Sheila and I begin our move to South Portland, Maine, to be closer to our grandchildren. And I might add, to my 2 granddaughters, who will be in mine. Some time ago, I read a fascinating book entitled The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. In his afterword, he defined the book as, I quote, a living and breathing document that grows richer with each new reading, end quote. On reflection, it brought to my mind a definition of a library as the only place that one can meet and participate with the great movers, shakers, and wonderful characters throughout history who enlighten and provide us with understandings every day, sometimes a tear or a good laugh. Just to check out a book, you could be crossing the Delaware River with General George Washington, or you could be moving through the Looking Glass with Alice into the Mad Hatter world, not much different in the real world, or you could be boating up the Mississippi with Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, or you could be rocketing to the moon to set up the first library ever right next to Moon Village Hall, a short crater away. Now it is time for important thank yous. My grateful appreciation to my colleagues on the Seacliff Village Library Board for all their wise and winsome efforts. Lest I forget, I also want to thank our very dedicated library staff for their continuous and always friendly help. Thanks go to the many Seacliff Village mayors under which I have served and their liaisons to the library board. Very special thank you to Arlene, our library director, and Camille, our associate library director, and Anne, for her director of the Children's Library, for their prodigious efforts in behalf of our patrons, I being one. In closing, I note what Sean Connery said when receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award in the motion picture industry in June of '01. Quote, I got my big break when I was 5 years old, and it's taken more than 70 years to realize it. At 5, I learned to read, and I would not be standing here without the books, plays, and scripts, end of quote, to which I would reply, amen, brothers and sisters, amen.
Well, let me respond for the trustees. When I first got your email, I was wondering how long you had served, and I started to ask, and people didn't even know. So I finally went to Village Hall and spoke to, and Pat Guy, who is like the keeper of the history of the village, said, let me look that up. I love to do research. It took her about 3 hours to go through all of these books, and she finally got to January 10th, I believe it was, 1995, which was when you were first appointed as a trustee. So you've been serving for 15 years. My guess is nobody has served for 15 years. That would be probably most of the organizations.
Good thing nobody knew. They probably kicked me off.
Well, no.
Him again?
And I just want to thank you on behalf of the trustees for your leadership and also for your sense of balance and for teaching me how to listen, because you do that extremely well. You listen very carefully to everyone, and I've learned a great deal from you. So I want to thank you and know that you and Sheila, as you start that next chapter, are going to have a wonderful chapter up there in Maine. And I'm sure within the year, the local library will be up to Seacliff standards to make sure that that's the case. So once again, John, thanks. Best wishes.